They released the first image of Joker 2. I know you guys are excited about that one.
Oh, yeah. So excited.
I'm curious to see what Gaga's
Lady
bring
Gaga
in.
as Harley Quinn, yeah.
That seems interesting to me.
I'd rather have my nuts sewn to my leg.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the show. We are your hosts, Colin Peters.
Oh, shitter was full. John Marchetter here.
I swear to fucking everything that's unholy.
I've been good to you
I know.
the last couple times, and now it's coming back to the end of the year.
I know. I had to be nice because in the interview, now I feel like I got to be extra fucking mean. Merry fucking Christmas, right?
Yeah, it is a holiday special here. Merry Christmas indeed.
And of course, Jeff Manfred.
I do admit before the show, when I first got here, your shitter was full.
Dude, I just cleaned that this morning, too.
Well, it worked for my favor. Thanks. Coffee's a hell of a drug.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, we got a nice Christmas classic for everybody here we're going to talk about, and that is the 1989 National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Woohoo!
Stars Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, has a bunch of guest stars, and for quite a while it kind of goes forgotten is that John Hughes wrote this script.
He wrote it, produced it, didn't direct it, because I know he's kind of considered the father of Christmas comedies, as producing Home Alone. Chris Columbus was supposed to direct this film, but unsurprisingly, because of the reports that Chevy Chase doesn't get along with a lot of people well, Chris Columbus dropped out because of him. And he still wanted to direct, and John Hughes recommended him for Home Alone, and then the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. Got that.
This was directed by Jeremiah Chechik, is his name, and this was his debut.
I don't think he's done a whole lot after that.
He hasn't. He's mostly television.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But going back to John Hughes, I mean, he was the king of 80s comedies, so it kind of fit in the fact that he also had his hand in Home Alone, which really is another Christmas classic.
Yeah.
And it's ironic that we did that one and now this one. Kind of funny.
Yeah. I gotta admit, too, that I'm not really the biggest fan of Christmas movies, just because I feel like Christmas is always so in your face.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we have so many good classics to begin with. Like, one of my favorite all-time Christmas classics is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really watch the stop-motion stuff a whole lot. I mean, I just never got into them. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, a lot of them are fun and funny. You know, like, Elf is like a big classic that everybody talks about. Home Alone's always a good one. But I think it's just like that in-your-face Christmas stuff all the time. Yeah. And they're generally comedies anymore. You know, there's no substance to them. They're the same, like, oh, it's a happy ending formula, and then you got like the horror Christmas stuff, and which are just like they're not even taken seriously. They're just comical at this point.
Don't forget the action Christmas movies. Look at Fat Man and Violent Night that's come out this year.
But I have to admit, that's actually why, if you follow me on Instagram, I was asking different things because I was curious. Because, I always do a marathon, but it's usually short, and most of the time it is 90% horror because of that concept. Because, like, they're so overused. Like, come on, there's 80 versions of Scrooged out there. I'm probably, estimating. But it's the fact that storyline has been used so often, it gets old.
Yeah.
And
there's a really good movie out right now called Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
I heard great things about that.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, it's not like this classic, but it's got some good laughs. It's actually like a bit of a musical. I mean, like it starts really heavy on the music, then it drifts away into the story, but it's like another take on A Christmas Carol with a twist and some new modern just differences. It's like in the same vein, same concept, but it's got its own little, flip to it.
Will Ferrell's no secret to Christmas movies. I mean, Elf is great.
Yeah.
I still watch that every year. It's hilarious.
There's a little dig in that, too.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I actually hate Elf.
You hate Elf?
I do.
Okay.
I love Jon Favreau. I love what he did with it. I hate Will Ferrell. I feel like
He's not for everybody.
No, I don't blame you either. I'm not the biggest fan of him myself. I think he was funny on SNL, and then his movie career was just eh. I think maybe he's more good at improv than he is scripted stuff. That might be the thing.
Makes sense.
Some actors are a lot like that.
Yeah, not everybody's Robin Williams. God bless.
Yeah.
But
He was in a Christmas movie too.
Yeah, he was. But I gotta admit that I do love National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I mean, Christmas Vacation does fit well with the series. I don't think I've ever seen European Vacation. I've seen Las Vegas. That was okay.
Vegas Vacation, yeah.
But National Lampoon's Vacation, that is a classic.
Well, even if you look at this series, I originally saw Christmas Vacation first before I saw the rest.
Same with me.
Okay.
I didn't even know that there was a third in the series.
The first one I saw was Vegas Vacation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
It's like, what's the big deal with these these characters?
But I think it was actually Comedy Central was doing a marathon, and that's when I discovered the other two. Like, the original one is actually really funny, and when they admit, spoiler alert, at the end of Christmas Vacation, this is their first kidnapping. It's not. They kidnap John Candy and force him to go on every ride with them at Wally World.
Yeah, that's true.
I like because I rewatched it last night, and like when they said that, I'm like, wait, no, they didn't.
Maybe it's the whole family's first
Oh,
kidnapping. Could be. But no, this one is very well done. It's funny. It's got like rewatchability too. I mean, you pretty much watch it for laughs. It's not a movie with substance in it at all. So like I feel like the more you watch it, the more it does get stale after a while, and you got to take a break and then go back to it once a year and go, okay, yeah, this is why I enjoy it. It's one of those types of comedies.
But it does have a lot of good rewatchability because it's so funny. Because it is incredibly hilarious that there are sometimes jokes that go over your head because you're laughing from the previous joke that you missed the next joke. And the next one, and the next one. And then after so many subsequent rewatchable times, you pick up on the other jokes, the other quotable lines.
Oh my gosh. You can quote this one all year round because of the amount of like one-liners they throw out there. You don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
The one I laugh at the most is actually when they bring the tree home. It's sitting in in the driveway, and the neighbor's like, "Where are you gonna put that?" He goes, "Bend over and I'll show you." I died. I forgot he says this while wearing a hockey mask.
and then like John said, the one line after another. You got a lot of nerve, Griswold. I wasn't talking to you.
Exactly. It's like the way they threw those out there. It is like if you ever listen to us talk, that's how it is. And we're constantly just one-liners back and forth, and it just that's the way it is.
You gotta see our text messages.
Dude, those get brutal sometimes.
Surprised we haven't had
Right,
a
John?
SWAT team break into our house and arrest anybody.
Yeah, I like it when we get all lighthearted and then we just go dark all of a sudden and like just say like I throw something dark in and I get both of these guys go, whoa. And I'm like, really? You guys are telling me this?
But that reminds you all, no, we're in this together.
Yeah. I'm going down. You're coming with me.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh.
But I was also amazed to find out about the cast that's in this movie. You got Doris Roberts, who played the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
She's Beverly D'Angelo's mom in the movie. The one of the kids was it Johnny Galecki?
Johnny Galecki from the Big Bang Theory.
And Roseanne.
Juliette Lewis.
She plays the daughter. And the kids, they've always changed in
Oh,
every
yeah.
movie?
They're always different every movie.
Like originally it was Anthony
Michael Hall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna get that picture.
I don't even remember the other kids. I just remember the dude from The Office was the grown-up version of Russ for that version where he takes his family to Wally World one last time before it closes.
Oh, Ed Helms.
Yeah, that's his name.
The really terrible vacation movie that no one wants to talk about.
I didn't even bother watching
terrible. It's
I watched
terrible.
it.
I unfortunately saw it at a discount theater. I'm glad I only paid $2.50 for it because I wouldn't pay a cent more.
Wow, it's that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like I'm the lucky one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got John Randolph as Clark Sr. and his wife Diane Ladd, who's I think she's one of the few that's actually still alive from the in-laws because Doris Roberts and E.G. Marshall have passed on. Those were Beverly D'Angelo's parents, and John Randolph has passed as well since.
What's their name from Seinfeld?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this was before Seinfeld, I think, too.
Well, she was on SNL, so I think
Mm-hmm.
that might have like helped her get some notoriety from that. It was like a very brief SNL stint.
And then Bill Murray's brother is the boss.
Brian Doyle Murray.
Yep.
And-
Has to be. William Hickey as Uncle Lewis.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear a dump truck if it drove through a nitroglycerin plant.
The blessing.
Who could forget Dr. Finkelstein from The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh my gosh.
Tales from the Crypt. He was in that. He's known for that really raspy voice, and this one he has like this bad toupee, always smoking a
Oh
cigar.
my
Yeah.
gosh. Dude, when Clark pulls his hat off and the toupee comes with it.
He burns the family tree.
With the fucking cigar.
Oh my gosh.
Just goes up like kindling.
And of course, Randy Quaid as Cousin Eddie.
We have to bring up Cousin Eddie. He's real life Cousin Eddie in real life. Was he even? He was just being himself, I think, in all these movies.
Was he really? I don't know much about Randy Quaid other than he's Dennis Quaid's brother, and I guess they have some beef.
I mean, if we ask his brother, it might be like, oh yeah, that's the.
Yeah, at the
it's very
time,
possible.
me and my wife, we stole a bunch of shit and got arrested. That's Randy Quaid.
I know one time he was making posts that he said for $1 million to $2 million, he'll dress up as Cousin Eddie at your house and say the shitter's full.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know if he's joking or if he was serious, but by the sound of things, he might have been serious.
Probably needs the money.
Oh my gosh.
Because he is real life. He's Cousin Eddie for life. That's him. No matter what he does, you can call him the guy who gets blown up at the end of Independence Day or the guy who has the ranch in Brokeback Mountain. He's Cousin Eddie for life.
Wait, who was the dude in the ranch?
He was a rancher in Brokeback Mountain. I know he was in that movie.
I remember it blew my mind that he was one of the race car owners, I think, and was it Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise?
Oh,
It was like a real serious part for him too. I was like, oh, that took me back. I didn't know if he was strictly comedy or not.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
He probably has some like stints where it's like he plays normal parts, but I'm like he made his living because I'm like was it Moving with Richard Pryor? He was both neighbors that were dicks because they were twins,
Okay.
Okay.
and they did the exact same thing. And then at the end of the movie, Richard Pryor tells the new neighbor to pretty much fuck off.
Yeah. That's funny. His role in Brokeback Mountain, he was a serious character, but still. Yeah, he's got stints.
So you got a pretty solid cast here with like I never had a problem with the acting. I mean, it's a National Lampoon movie. They get really over the top with some things, but it's not so like it's unbelievable, but it doesn't get to the point where it takes you so out of the movie where you're just like, okay, enough of that. I think if anything, sometimes it just gets like the goofiness just gets so repetitive that all the bad stuff is like, like the rule of threes in movies where it's like, how many more disasters really can just happen before you do get a little immune to it after a while?
I mean, Animal House kickstarted the whole thing with National Lampoon's Animal
Dude,
House, so
what
you
a
knew where this was
classic.
going forward.
If that's where it started,
That's where it started.
I feel like technically it might have ended with Christmas Vacation being really good because some of the movies after it really weren't.
They're straight to DVD, like Senior Trip and even Vegas Vacation and Gold Diggers. I can't believe I remember those movies, but they are straight to DVD movies.
I want to say the last movie that I remember that was a National Lampoon's thing was Van Wilder with Ryan Reynolds.
Van Wilder, there you
I
go.
forgot about that one. That one went under the radar for me because I'm like, I don't remember. Because it's Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds. We all know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really wasn't anything any different than any other Ryan Reynolds comedy movie. It just had a National Lampoon stamp over it. And I mean, let's face it, they really weren't the same. Like you said, Jeff, after this movie, National Lampoon stuff was pretty much done.
It's non-existent. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things changed in the 90s, but it really wasn't. It didn't have the same feel, didn't have a lot of the same actors. Like, yeah, Vegas Vacation was there, but it wasn't. Like, it didn't have the same feel. Like, maybe it was the writers were different, the directing was different. It was just, they were just trying to do jokes.
Yeah.
It could also have been just that there were people in that said, hey, I got a job. I'm working for National Lampoons. They had this success, and these guys who came in thought they could do no wrong. And here they messed up one too many times, and the company started suffering, and it became like, oh, well, I made one hiccup, so what? And we'll do another thing. And then now that's not working. Well, now we need to shake things up. And
No, originally, wasn't it a magazine?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was kind of like a Mad magazine, I think, from what my dad was telling me.
Wow.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I was like, that's how old it is.
And the vacation name, of all the vacation movies, this is the one where they don't take a vacation. It's really not much.
Staycation.
It's a staycation. It's more of a vacation for the in-laws.
Right.
It's for them, not for the Griswolds.
Yeah, Clark's just like really gung-ho about hosting his like very first family get-together. And there are like some very heartfelt moments, and Beverly D'Angelo says to him, "Are you sure you want to do this? Have all the in-laws at the house?" And he's just like, "I feel like it, like this is my time to do this." And then there are the times where like cousin Eddie's daughter, says like she can't get any presents, and he has like a heartfelt moment with her to say, "No, I think Santa's gonna come for you this year."
Yeah.
And what was the other? Oh, when the dad says it's time to read. Was it?
Twas the night before Christmas. Passing of the torch.
Yeah, and he says, "Well, isn't that your thing, Dad?" And he goes, "No, son, it's your family."
I feel like that moment right there was probably the best because it was after the meltdown, after everything.
There was that levity that you needed in this comedy where like everything and anything that could go wrong that we're laughing at and we're like, okay, this is funny. The Griswolds are being the Griswolds, but then it wasn't like the lights were one thing, but they got it fixed. But then when the tree got lit on fire, it was like, okay, that's completely gone. You can't fix that. The turkey is like all screwed up.
Wait. Right back into that turkey. I want to know how long that was in the fucking oven to look like that.
I've wondered that myself. I'm like,
it's a little dry is all.
Dry. There's no meat in it. Like literally, it pops open. It's just skin and was it sinew? I don't even know what.
Yeah.
There's that part where if you look very closely, Beverly D'Angelo has it on her fork and she's like looking up and like flings it and then pretends she eats something. It's like,
But that's the thing with her. Her comedy was a lot more subtle in this movie, where like Clark's the over the top fucking stuff, and hers was like when he goes to cut the tree out, she's drinking the eggnog and she quickly just whips it into the bush when she takes a sip. Like whatever.
She starts smoking in the kitchen at one point, and the mom's like, "Are you smoking again?" No. She just lights up a cigarette in the kitchen while her daughter's trying to shave carrots.
And I like that because it's a nice balance where it's not so over the top. It's like here is somebody who actually has some sort of like groundedness that sees the stupidity that goes on, and it's almost like a Homer and Marge relationship.
But when you get Eddie and Clark in the same room, it's kind of like who's going to be worse. Eddie is 100% worse.
You know Eddie's going to be worse.
But there's moments where Clark kind of rises to that occasion. Like take for instance a sledding thing, where even Eddie's like, no.
See, here's where I think it differs. It's like Eddie knows he's a POS. Clark thinks he's not.
Well, he thinks highly of himself.
Yeah.
I got a good paying job. I'm basically getting my Christmas bonus to pay for a pool in my own house. I'm a uprising middle class man. I'm the epitome of the American dream.
Yeah. So he doesn't realize that like he's messing up, and he like doesn't admit it either.
Worse.
Yeah. At least Eddie kind of like he is what he is, and he knows it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Even the kids have more like mental sanity than the adults.
Oh,
They're
I
just
know.
like, is this a good idea?
Ruby gets kicked in the face by a donkey, and then her eyes become uncrossed. You don't need surgery to fix that, apparently.
Oh my.
Which one's the mom that, like, she's supposed to do the prayer, but she didn't get it right, and then at one point she sings the Star Spangled Banner.
She's an aunt.
Oh, okay.
Like a great aunt.
Yeah, married Uncle Lewis.
Yeah.
That's Mae Questel. I believe she's actually the voice of Betty Boop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I
she's a
that.
veteran.
That's actually really cool.
Play ball.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of moments in this. Like, I forgot that were in it when I rewatched it, and I'm like, going from the moment that they fucking have to dig up that tree to bring it home, and kind of like the movie just starts gradually escalating of like the fuckery. And that's the best way to explain it.
Here's a fun drinking game. Take a shot every time a window breaks.
Oh my god.
So many of them.
The neighbor's windows, Griswold's own windows.
And the bloopers in it. Like, you can, like, at the very end when Lewis has the cigar in the the fumes from the shitter
Yep.
in the sewer, like, blow him up. You can see the wire lift the stunt double.
Oh my gosh.
You can see the, like, some of the set boards, like, didn't have the roof and the ceiling in the house done. So when they're all running away, it's like there's a lot of them in there.
Oh yeah. When shit hits the fan, literally worse. How could it get any worse?
We're the threshold of hell.
Oh my god. His comedic chops are really strong in this movie. Chevy Chase's.
Absolutely. This is one of these things that still carries on because, I mean, I don't know too many other movies that Chevy Chase has that are just instant classics.
I could think of like maybe Three Amigos, but it was him, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. So all three of them are carrying the movie, not just him. Where this one, he is the focal point, and he kind of has to carry the movie because he's the one running the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that's why they had to have him a quick wit, really fast with everything. Even the crazy amount of fuckery that happens with him is more self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Take, for instance, the thing with the lights. I swear to God, he probably would have broke his neck.
The neighbors hope so.
Yeah. Because, like, all right, so he falls down with the ladder. He falls off the roof into the bushes. I'm like, dude, how many times is this dude going to fall?
He's got 9 lives.
Did you notice that when he finally gets the lights on, where it says auxiliary, it's spelled wrong?
No, I didn't see
I
that.
didn't see that. Oh, shit.
Like the auxiliary nuclear plant or whatever to light up the town because he takes up all the energy to light his house.
Oh, my gosh.
Speaking of, and that tantrum before those lights actually came on when they were coming on periodically, when he was getting into a wrestling match with the Santa Claus, he actually broke his pinky finger punching the Santa Claus. That's why he's like pushing the reindeer because he was in pain.
I like the what the and then that
Oh, my gosh.
and Beverly D'Angelo's like, oh wait, I gotta turn the power switch on.
I mean, you would too if you put, 5,000 lights on your house and you stapled every single one of them. I don't want to imagine how it's going to take to get that shit off your house.
This is so my dad. Every time we watch that movie, he always said, because my dad was fucking cheap. And he said, that electric bill's gotta suck. Jeff, he's met my dad a lot.
Yeah.
I also love the neighbors' reaction because they're getting
Oh, they get all
blinded by the
blinded.
light, and then it goes out, and they're instantly dazed and confused because that's a real thing. You're getting flashed with light, and then it's just pitch black, and you're going to be disoriented, and you're going to fall into shit.
But here's the thing. It's kind of self-inflicted. If they know that neighbor is an asshole, do you think they would not have blinds or curtains or
Right.
whatever?
Seriously.
And weren't they trying to get it on? Like, didn't they have like wine or champagne in the bed?
Trying to make a romantic night. They don't really celebrate Christmas because they don't really have decorations in their house. It's the epitome of the 80s inside their house.
Oh,
Yeah, stereo. They're almost like American Psycho in Chicago.
Yeah.
oh my gosh. But the fact that, like, she's more worried about the wine on the carpet instead of him breaking his neck down the stairs.
Yeah.
He's, like, dying at the bottom of the stairs. She's like, oh, my carpet.
He fell down a flight of stairs.
I don't know, Todd.
I don't know, Margot.
That scene makes me laugh every time because, like, they're trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. Hey, how did that sheet of ice shoot out of the gutter, 1,000 yards?
Through the window and breaking the stereo.
Why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
Jesus.
Like, what broke the stereo through the window?
I love the realization on their face when they, like, looking at everything and then they look out like, this motherfucker.
And they have a dinner conversation. Don't you feel bad about not getting a tree? Bam! The new tree goes through their window. And Clark doesn't give a fuck about their window. He's like, I'm just focused on getting a tree for my house.
And the tree that they get at the beginning of the movie is... No... How the hell did it even fit in the house?
I don't
Just
know.
remember, it's a little full.
It's a bit sappy.
We pulled
Looks
it out with
great.
a station wagon. We didn't have a saw.
The Griswold family Christmas tree.
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell it fit in the house. Okay, if it's longer than the car.
Yeah. Oh my god! And he did some trimming. He says he has to do some more trimming.
He probably just nipped the top off to fit it in there.
Probably.
And Uncle Lewis sets it on fire.
Well, it's because Snots was drinking out of the bowl.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they did explain a lot of stuff that happened with like little lines or watching a little sequence like the dog drinking, and then like you realize that's what caused the tree to fucking burn.
Yep.
And then Clark's just finally like had enough because everything's just a shit storm, and he sees the little wobbly thing on the staircase.
Oh yep. Takes the saw and cuts
what's
it right
that?
off.
What's that called?
New post.
New post?
No post.
On the baluster.
Yeah. And he just saws it off, and he goes, "Oh, it's fixed." Apparently, that was supposed to be like a little homage to "It's a Wonderful Life."
Oh yeah,
I guess
yeah. I can
guess
see that. Because they're in a rickety old house that they spruced up, and make it brand new, and that post was always rattling.
exactly.
Why is this damn post always ruined? Why is it so drafty in this cold old house?
I've never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler for an inconvenient scene.
I don't know if you're really spoiling it because I mean everybody knows the ending.
Is it the one with the Every Time a Bell Rings?
And
Yes.
I guess it's like yeah.
And that leads back to I don't like Christmas. So. But yeah, that's kind of funny. Like I would have never caught that, but yeah, it's actually a pretty cool like little nod. But the fact that the movie takes place in the suburbs of Chicago, but it's filmed in Colorado is the funniest thing about it. Because like at the end of the movie, it actually says thanks to Colorado. Like it actually says the town. I'm like, oh.
But it kind of worked though, right? Because wasn't Home Alone supposed to be in Chicago and really
Yeah.
was filmed in Chicago?
Yeah.
Or at least Illinois.
That house is not a real house.
Well, no, the outside is a real house, but
the inside wasn't. Yeah, there we go.
I think it's probably the same thing that happened for the Griswolds' house. Probably real on the outside, and then they obviously shot in the inside to do the catastrophe that they all had. And like I said, if you look at one scene where they're running upstairs, you can see that the ceiling's not done.
Hey,
The
as long as
third-
it worked, right?
The third act fiasco, that all happens, especially when
There's
Eddie and the family shows up.
And there's bloopers in every movie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Eddie, he just adds it on top.
So like as the movie's building up, the fuckery's happening, and I feel like once he has the Jelly of the Month Club and he has that blow up, and he's just finally like he's coming back down and coming back to normal, having that heartfelt moment with his dad, and then the Passion of the Torch. I was like, all right, so you're gonna actually have a traditional Christmas movie? No.
No. The boss has to show up with a bow and gagged, kidnapped by
Cousin
Eddie.
Oh my god.
If he was here right now, I would tell him to his stupid face.
You heartless dickless.
Heartless, dickless, hopeless sack of monkey shit he is. That's only a fraction of it. They had cue cards to hold up, like, insults for him to go off of when he was going through this tangent rant.
He thought he was going to get a bonus to pay for the pool, and here it was a invitation to the Jelly of the Month Club.
Oh, because, it's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Cousin Eddie's wearing a leisure suit. Did you notice at one point...
A blue leisure suit.
Did you notice at one point, though, Eddie's wearing this white sweater, and it looks like there's this turtleneck, and it's not even a full turtleneck. It's
You
just...
can see the shoulder pad.
Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah.
Like what do they call it? A dickie?
I think so. I think that was the point though, because of how
He couldn't afford a turtleneck.
Yeah.
part of me believes he cut it off of Clark's sweater and just fucking wore it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
wouldn't put it past me.
Oh.
Doesn't Clark even have that line, Eddie, I never thought in my lifetime that you'd be in my house?
That's what I can do for you.
Drive out in the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead. Oh no, I'm fine, Clark.
Oh, God.
Like I love how like monotone he delivers that sentence while he's trying to fix the decoration that Eddie broke.
Yeah. Oh, hey, honey, look, there's an asshole in a bathrobe emptying a shitter into the storm drain. Did you hear that, honey? The shitter was full.
And the music that's playing.
That's so Eddie right there. And the fact that this movie doesn't even take place on Christmas Day, it's just a week before Christmas and it ends on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So if that's like the events leading up to Christmas and that ends like Christmas Eve, I would have hated to see what Christmas morning looked like.
Probably was normal. That's why we didn't see it.
Hey, everyone's just like, oh yeah, the windows are still busted.
Yeah. The SWAT team crashed over.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like still bitching about how everything's ruined in her house. Todd's kicked out.
Oh.
She's getting the divorce papers ready.
Yeah, really.
I do love that line. Like the cops are banging on her door. She goes, "You're gonna get that fucking door."
And then boom!
They had no reason to kick her door down, but they still fucking did it.
I mean, I felt like that. The final act was way over the top with like the cops just busting in.
Oh,
everything.
of course.
Because Brian Doyle Murray's wife called the cops after he got kidnapped. So, and what'd she say? Like some idiot, tall Neanderthal looking
burly man,
beastly man,
beastly man, wearing a blue leisure suit,
came in my house and kidnapped my husband.
No, here was the question I asked last night. I was like, first off, I go, who the fuck has to pay for all them windows? Because A, I don't see the police paying for it. Apparently, it's the homeowner's insurance.
Homeowner's insurance. I was gonna say homeowner's insurance, or what, that new 25% bonus check that he got.
Yeah.
He's gonna pay for everything now.
And then the second question was like, all right, so if his Boston press charges, doesn't technically Chicago have to press charges?
Do they have to?
I mean, they showed up. He was kidnapped.
I guess they would be on Eddie then, because Eddie was the one who did it. He just went to Clark's house. He wasn't being serious when he... I don't know. I don't know the legalities behind that.
That's what I
talk
was
to a
curious.
cop.
Yeah. Wait, maybe.
He's gonna look it up real quick.
Not John McClane. We'll talk to an actual cop.
Oh, John McClane. I think it would have been worse.
I have to look it up next time. But yo, check this out. There's a teddy bear with the Cousin Eddie garb in a robe and the flap. It doesn't look like he has a cigar. But...
Oh my gosh.
Is that a Build-A-Bear too?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think they have the Clark Griswold one too with the hockey jersey.
Oh.
The Chicago Blackhawks jersey.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that little touch that he had the 00 and it said his name on the back, and I'm like, it's kind of fitting.
It's a 00.
That's usually what a lot of people do, or their birthday or year, and then they put their names
Yet still,
on jerseys.
other women find this guy resistible, even though he's a bumbling buffoon. I mean,
When the cops come in and everybody has their hands up, Eddie's wife is like, "No, don't shoot my husband," and Beverly D'Angelo has her hand on Clark's crotch.
Yep.
They even say, like, "This is Clark's wife," and she's like, "Hi," and then goes right back, like she shakes the hand and then puts it right back on his dick.
Oh my gosh.
This also, speaking of them not taking a vacation in a vacation movie, this is also the first vacation movie they don't feature the song "Holiday Road."
Was it in European Vacation?
It was in European Vacation, yes.
Okay.
And it wasn't, of course, the original Vacation in Vegas Vacation, because the woman has a baby now. But there is that one like little fantasy flashback where he has the pool when he's visualizing everything in his backyard, and then there's the girl from the department store. I guess that's who it is.
Yeah, it's Mary.
Yeah, Mary. My name's Mary. No shit.
You don't
Tis
see
the season to be Mary. My
You don't-
name's Mary. Oh shit.
You don't see the lines there, Rusty.
She's not wearing anything. Like, are you kidding me? Just openly showing him like side leg. Oh, it's just a tip at Nippy. Nippy. He's like grabbing at her too. Can I pull something out for you?
Looking for my wife. God bless her. Like, oh, she passed? No, we're just divorced. But he makes it sound like she's dead.
Look at the Yule log.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
It's literally too much to remember unless like you've seen this movie 100 times and just studied it. But oh, dude,
And then it's just her by
nonstop
the
laughing.
pool, and then the bathing suit hits the window, and he snaps back into reality.
Well, what is that in reality that hits the window then? Because if something has to hit the window.
Something hit the window. That must have been just like,
No,
don't
I thought,
take it serious.
I thought
This
it
is
was
just a gag.
Eddie's daughter comes up and
Well, it hits the window and she calls him Santa Claus at the same time. So it's like one of those things like something maybe hit the window and she said at the same time.
Yeah, like a bathing suit actually hit the window, and
Oh,
then he
yeah.
snapped into reality. Like, oh, whoa, did she just do that? Oh, shit, Ruby, hi.
Or when he gets locked in the attic because he went to hide presents up there and he finds
Yeah.
that really old one.
Watching the home movies and falling through the ceiling and getting the ladder hit him in the face.
After we're talking about it, like, dude, he did have a lot of physical comedy in this, like, not even realizing it.
Oh, he did.
That was Chevy Chase though. He was even known for that in SNL, and I think, but didn't he have like a painkiller addiction too?
Possibly.
Because a lot of that, he was like the original Johnny Knoxville in a way. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, not to the extremes, but that was his gimmick, was like slipping or falling on something. And...
Ladder humor, physical comedy. Yeah. But
come on, even in the attic when he's standing there like trying to warm up and putting all the stuff on, he falls to the roof. I'm like, just crawl out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Breaking that poster on his Russ's roof.
I've never been stuck in an attic like that, but like, do you guys know anything about it? Like, it's got to be pretty easy to just push that ladder down, right?
I think it latches, but where he was standing was just drywall. So when he fell through, like I said, he just could have gotten out instead of sitting on the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, why sit on the ladder?
I guess because there's nowhere else to sit. He was afraid to sit down.
Yeah.
But dude, those attics do get freezing, so I can only imagine.
No insulation up there? Yeah.
Whew.
I mean, even in, like, Chicago winters, you would expect, like, some sort of insulation? Because that means, like, there's that giant vent in the side of the house. I'm like, are you sure?
Wait a minute.
Right, this is the Windy City. They get some cold-ass winters up there.
Hell yeah, Midwest, and you're right by Canada?
Oof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Christmas Vacation, man. I can't recommend it enough. I really enjoy it. There's not really anything bad to say about it. I mean, it has a little bit of a demographic where it can be fun for kids. I know I watched it at an early age. Some stuff just went over my head. I mean, as far as swearing goes, it's like...
But I would have to admit, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, so it was a kind of a different time frame. So I would say kids growing up now, some of the jokes might go over their head, some might not. So it all depends on your prerogative.
I look at it as a prerogative no matter what.
That's true.
Because, I mean, my parents, even would, like, have us watch stuff and say, like, don't repeat this,
Yeah.
Like, they didn't hide it from me. They pretty much said, like, you're going to know this anyway.
Right.
And this is, like, how to be more mature about it. So
it's true.
That's, like, it's kind of like how that, old saying is, like, it's better to just, like, have it out in the open and explain it than suppress it. And then when you finally, like, open up to it, you kind of go nuts. It's like what they say about people who live, like, the goody two-shoes life, and then they finally try some alcohol or go to a party, and then they just, like, fucking cut loose. It's like, I mean, Jeff and I told the story so many times that we were, like, exposed to mature subjects like, from our parents at an early age, that by the time we got into 6th grade and did sex ed class, we heard everybody laughing, like, when there was, like, a drawing of an erect penis on the screen, and we were like, what's everybody laughing at?
This is new to you?
Yeah, exactly. We were like,
we all have one.
Yeah. and we were like, this is sex ed, like, yeah, this is what they're going to show us.
Mm-hmm. I know as a kid, there's only so many times you can watch A Christmas Story over and over again, especially the 24 hours.
I still
that
can't.
Comes every year. So when I was younger, I was like, can I watch Christmas Vacation? Because that was really funny last time. And I feel like I don't get to see that very often. So I would look forward to seeing that movie, particularly during the holiday season, because of how damn funny it is.
Yeah, go-to for me is the Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown's good. Also, like some of the shorter ones, because they tell a story in a certain amount of time, and that's all you need. And the Grinch is one of those, like he was troubled, he does something wrong, and he actually finds, like, the true meaning of Christmas through everybody just getting together. Like, it's not about the presents, it's not about the, like, looking better than my neighbor or something. It really is just, let's all just get together and celebrate the birth of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, oh, damn. And I was like, that to me was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, plus they're literally singing songs about how much of a dick he is. So no wonder he hated.
You're a mean one.
I'd wear that badge with honor. I get a theme song too.
It's one of my favorite Christmas songs, actually, because of how different it is from all the others.
Right? Or like Eddie Izzard says, nobody knows the actual lyrics to the 10 Days of Christmas, or 12 Days of Christmas, except for 5 gold rings.
Yeah.
And it's not that Christmas movies are bad. They're just not these, like I don't feel like there are very many classics that stick out that you can just be like, this is a cool movie to watch when it's not the season. Like, that to me is just a movie that you can just watch it year round without doing it. Like,
All right, let's take, for instance, we've done Die Hard. You can watch that year round, and it's still considered a Christmas movie.
Yeah, you can watch it in the summertime.
Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas to an extent. I mean, we could have a whole episode on is it a Christmas movie? Is it a Halloween movie? When really you could do it both, and I feel like it's also just a good movie in general. Like, yeah, there's holidays in it, but it's also just this, like, overall well-rounded movie.
Yeah.
It's true, though.
They have their place. I mean,
Yeah.
because there are people that have the guilty pleasures of watching the Hallmark Channel movies because they just want to have a feel-good story in the background while they're wrapping presents or making eggnog and doing activities with their family. They just have in the background, like background noise.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not for everybody to, like, watch, like, how we get notorious for watching horror movies or action or something that we, like, fully get engulfed in. That's our favorite subgenre. And if people want, like, let's have, like, good harmony, good vibes, you know, that's totally cool. I get that. I don't mind, but sometimes sitting down for Christmas movies constantly, for me, I'm just like, I'm over it.
I mean,
Because
there are
we get
still-
bombarded with it. Just like how as soon as Halloween's done, we skip Thanksgiving and go right into Christmas.
That annoys me.
Listen, I'm here for turkey. I didn't care.
I'm here for turkey and planes, trains, and automobiles, so...
I was going with Thanksgiving, but
Oh my god. Jeez. We're Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, and I know we talked about Silent Night, Deadly Night on the show before, and really, like, you take away the 80s shit, there really is a good movie underneath those layers. And Jeff and I met, what's the actor's
I
name?
think it's Brian, but I can't remember his last name. It's escaping me.
Played Billy from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
was it Billy?
Billy.
Yeah, Billy's the original kid.
Oh, okay. I was also thinking Billy
Ricky's
from,
the brother.
from Black Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, Billy. But, you know, like, that movie's actually got, like, a good message to it. But, of course, not everybody's going to be like, oh, I don't want to watch a Christmas horror movie.
Well, no, because we've talked about the controversy and about what people overblew back then in the 80s. Because this movie was going to happen no matter what you did. You could protest it all you want. It was never going to be stopped. So...
Unless you burned every last piece of film and copy of it that ever
Like
existed.
what George Lucas wanted to do with the Star Wars Holiday Special. If he had time and a sledgehammer, he would go out and destroy every copy of the Holiday Special so no one saw it.
I mean, Carrie Fisher used it to kick everybody out of her house for every party.
Yes.
I've watched it once.
Oh, it's hard to sit through.
I just watched reviews and clips of it, and I was like, yeah, I know.
You see Mark Hamill after the car accident? Oh, man.
Harrison Ford just looks like he does not want to be there.
Zero fucks.
He doesn't even like talking about the good Star Wars movies, so if you mention this to him, he'll probably snap and kill you.
I think he would. It's just if people see him because he just seems so annoyed in general.
I think that's his face.
Hollywood changes people.
But, did you guys have a favorite scene out of this?
I don't know if I have a favorite scene, but I mean, there are cool parts that we mentioned. There wasn't like a scene that really grabbed me. I think the biggest heartfelt scenes to me were when Cousin Eddie's daughter's talking to Clark, and Clark and his dad having the exchange. But I like quoting a lot, "The blessing." That's a funny one, and to me also the when Clark meets Brian Doyle Murray, and he's got the entourage of employees coming with, and he's like, "Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss my ass, kiss your ass, kiss his ass,
Kiss my ass.
kiss my ass." that one gets me all the time too.
Yeah, it's really not much a scene. It's really just an act, the third act, essentially, when Cousin Eddie and his family show up. And I love the fact that there was a real squirrel in the new tree that they brought in. And everyone's fainting. It's latching onto people. They can't find the damn rodent. Eddie won't eat them because they're high in cholesterol. And the big chase scene that's going on back and forth in the house. And of course, it ends with a cherry on top with Julia Louis-Dreyfus opening the door, and the squirrel latches onto her chest as the dog plows into her. Problem solved. And then that leads into the funniest rant about having the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye.
Oh my God.
And he's speaking to us in this moment because when Santa sticks his big fat white ass down that chimney, he's found the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. We're the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. We run a psych ward. We run a film asylum.
Oh my God.
He's talking to us in that moment. He gets us. So that gets me.
It was. What, we would have been, trying to think, probably 2 or 3. I would have been, yeah. I'm the oldest one out here, fuckers.
I remember 2 for sure because my parents told me I saw Batman 89 at a drive-in at 2 years old.
Makes sense.
And that was June of 89.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would say, honestly, my favorite scene probably was the whole coming out of the garage, make it look like a horror movie. Obviously. No, but it's the one-liners back and forth between him and the neighbors that got me. Like I was speaking earlier, just how quick it was. And I'm like, even the neighbors were like, well, fuck you back.
Yeah.
And it was. It's that movie. The movie itself, it does have a traditional values story to it, but they went about it in a crazy way. And so it's like, even like you said, rewatchability for it, like you're going to notice new things. Like I said, I noticed the small things that Beverly D'Angelo did. It wasn't like, first couple watch throughs, I don't even remember it at all. I remember a focal point being Clark. So it's like, once you kind of look past Clark and Eddie, then you start noticing all the secondary characters. And it started making scenes funnier to me because, like you said, it gets stale. So
it's a comedy, I mean, there's nothing spectacular with the lighting. There's nothing that's gonna be artistic about it. There's really the story is the Griswolds on another vacation trip that obviously is gonna have some sort of damage, and they're gonna get frustrated, and Clark's gonna freak out, and a lot of it's also part of his doing because it's his idea, and he screws up things, and he thinks they're good ideas, and they're not good ideas. He gets some levity, he just ignores them, but then they all come together, and it all works out to the best of their abilities.
There is one thing that's different about this one, and that's between the, I guess, a tension between Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo, because there's always something that happens in the other vacation movies. Like in Vegas Vacation, she's getting seduced by Wayne Newton. And in European Vacation, they made a sex tape that leaked out to this Italian filmmaker, and now her body is all over these posters, and she hates Clark, and he's got to try and win her back. This is the one where he didn't really have to try and win her back at all, because there was that problem in the other movies. So that was a little bit different. So it changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a traditional, you got to have some conflict there. And,
there's conflict, but not so much between those two in this movie.
Yeah.
She was more or less running backup this time and, trying to make sure he had the perfect holiday, even though his expectations were so high. Just bring it back to normal levels. We don't need the grand gestures. You just kind of go, right here. I don't need it below this line. You don't need the house on fire, but we do need a house to be standing.
You guys have anything else to add to our Christmas Vacation episode?
Yes. Fuck that theme song. It's so fucking bad. The Christmas Vacation theme song they played throughout the whole fucking movie was fucking horrible.
Well, you talking about the one from the opening and the end?
Yes. You like the animation too?
Yes. I hated it. I hated it 100%. That is the one thing I discovered last night. I fucking hate that.
I always thought the animation at the beginning kind of throws you off with the movie.
It
feels like it doesn't belong here. You're like, what am I watching? It's like a short film before the movie.
Mm-hmm. With that theme kind of a
song.
Cute thing.
It's not
animated
bad.
Santa getting fucked up by Clark's house. And then fucking his house up more.
I kind of feel like that might be what happened on Christmas Day at the Griswold house, actually.
Right.
It's like Memento. They play the end of the movie at the beginning.
I was thinking they were Tarantinoing it. There you go.
Right. A prelude to the beginning.
Well, I think Tarantino did have high praise for Chevy Chase in the 80s than he did Bill Murray. Was either that or vice versa. I don't remember.
Speaking of Bill Murray.
Scrooged?
No. Okay.
I thought we were going there.
No, I was going to say, so the only unrealistic thing about this entire movie, like, the movie is unrealistic, but the fact that...
Really?
But that whole, like, Scrooged moment that his boss has at the moment when Clark calls him out on his bullshit, and he kidnaps him, and he just goes, oh, yeah, I did bad. You get 20% added. I'm like, that's not real. Like, dude would have been pissed. I would have been pissed. I go, most of those people would have been in jail. I go, but the moment he has that Scrooge mentality, he's like, oh, I did wrong. No, he's a fucking scumbag. Let him be a scumbag. And then the fact that his wife comes in and calls him a scumbag.
I cannot believe you. Yeah, and then the cops even
if I had a rubber hose, I would beat you.
Like, everyone chimed in on how much this dude was a scumbag. I'm like, well, you...
I think it was also the, like, you're the only one with, like, I'm gonna fuck all these people over, and now even the cops and your wife and this whole family over here is like, really, dude? And he's like, yeah, like, nobody's gonna help, like, take my side here. So he's like, oh, I have no choice. Otherwise the mob's gonna get me.
Oh, they would kill him.
Like I said, that was the most realistic thing about this movie, even though this movie was.
Yeah.
You gotta have that good arc, you know?
Can I get that bonus in writing and not some false promise that you're saying now to get you out of a jam?
Right.
Get beaten up by the entire family.
It's a beastly man in a leisure suit.
Oh my gosh.
It's too funny, man. The jokes in this movie really, man, they're just too good. I mean, it's good for adults and kids to an extent. I mean, I know Jeff and I, like I said, we watched it as kids. And it just got
fine.
It just got funnier, honestly. Like, the more we, like, a lot of the stuff that we watched that went over our heads, like Married with Children. I mean, shit, that show got so much more funnier the older we got. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And I feel like National Lampoons can be the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
People just stop being sensitive. Get some balls. I smacked John right there, too.
Oh!
That's right.
Why do you get to do it? I've fucking been trying to.
Well, there you go. John, stay here.
Oh!
Yo, John, what's that shiny thing?
Oh!
Wow. We're doing a snuff film now?
Please. No more.
Be a man.
Oh! God. Not the rubber hose. Not the rubber hose.
Jeff, where'd you get that rubber hose from?
Oh my gosh.
Take a look around you, everyone. I'm on the threshold of hell.
By the way, Jeff, what's that leather object in your closet?
You want to find out, Johnny?
No.
We only got 6 more minutes.
Only.
Ooh.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
It'll be a long time. Wow, this got dark quick, boys.
So I guess we should wrap this session up.
We should, yes.
We might have another session later.
I need more therapy.
Well, that's 1989's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We all recommend it. It's very high on the Christmas watching list. You guys have anything else you want to say to it?
We talked about holiday movies, and I'll disagree. I do think that there are some really good classic Christmas movies out there that still hold up. Like It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, White Christmas, who is referenced in Christmas Vacation with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. Danny fucking Kaye. I'm sorry, that's his middle name. His middle name is Danny fucking Kaye. But those movies still really hold up, and they're feel-good ones. And there are some, like anything, like horror, action, there are some that just bottom out and tank, and they're just there to be guilty pleasure. These movies have their place. There are some that really stand out, and then there are some that just don't. But there are some that you just want to laugh your ass off, and this is one of those movies that does it so consistently every year. Because I can watch A Christmas Story over and over again. We all know it. I know the jokes. It's not really funny to me anymore. It's just more of it's tradition. But Christmas Vacation is the movie that gets me to laugh my ass off every year.
Well said. I think that's the best way to describe a lot of the Christmas movie genre in general, and this is one of the better ones that do stand out within that genre. of
Oh,
a Christmas
absolutely.
Story movie.
I mean, this is a hard movie to hate. Like you could if you spent the time.
I don't know too many people who do hate
Yeah,
this movie.
yeah.
Like even people who are like very reserved and want like the nice wholesome Christmas stuff. I mean, this isn't like a raunchy movie. Yeah, there's like
Adult humor.
exactly, but it flows really well. Where I mean, I think you got to be like super like constricted with your life to like be like, oh no,
I'm gonna pick this movie apart and do the movie critic thing.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would love to meet those two, and probably get something signed from just this one. Have it right, Danny fucking.
Chevy Chase came to our school at one time.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
2006, he came to the sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my script writing teacher, she's best friends with his wife.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, is he actually based out of Chicago, or is he like PA local? Or am I asking too much?
That I'm not sure about. I just know that they were really close. I know at one point her husband and Chevy did a little live show, I guess, for his daughter or something too, like when she graduated or had her birthday or whatever. Yeah. So like they were like really close in contact, and he might have just done it because he could.
Okay.
I know one time I think I heard that, I don't know if this is still true, but supposedly Chevy had a contract with SNL where he basically got paid to like just be on call if they needed a host.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't he was like still getting paid, but he didn't have to be on SNL unless they said, "Hey, we need somebody last minute."
It's an emergency.
Yeah. And if he couldn't, I guess it would get nulled or whatever. Yeah. Now that's what I heard. I don't know how true exactly that is because I'm not there, but I heard from a source that that's how it worked. Now I don't know if that contract is still in place or if it was just for like a 4-year deal or whatever. But yeah, I heard some of that. And her name's Maura Smith, and her husband is Steve Shapiro, and she was telling me stories about them and Chevy.
Oh, that's really cool.
Getting together.
Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess with that being said, we shall wrap things up. This is Colin Peters.
John Rashatter.
Jeff Manfred. I expected something from you. I'm disappointed.
Not the end. Always the beginning.
Thank you all once again for listening. Stay safe, stay crazy, and most importantly, Merry Christmas.
Please, somebody help me.
Oh, yeah.